Oh, Shanti. Good morning, diamond morning. Today Baba is telling us we can do service and everywhere, anywhere. But one of the service he's saying is to stay in remembrance, at least 8 hours. And how can that be service? It's serving the self through burning our past sins, improving our present life for the future, as well as serving other souls through vibrations and even the elements. So let's listen to Baba's sweet versions of the 14th of February 2022, Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's to all of you. In the essence, Baba says, sweet children, become sensible whilst moving along. Serve wherever you can. Give the Father's introduction. Have an interest in doing service. Question. By your intellects understanding which aspect will you children be able to use everything you have in a worthwhile way? Answer. That all of this is going to finish. By giving 2 grains of rice, you can receive a palace from the Father. Those whose intellects are able to understand this will use everything they have in a worthwhile way for God's task. Only the poor sacrifice themselves. The Father is the bestower. He gives you the sovereignty of heaven. He doesn't take anything. And the song of Baba's Murli. Oh, beloved, come and meet us. The unhappy heart is calling out. The unhappy heart is calling out to you. Om Shanti. The lovers means the devotees, and the brides mean Sajani, brides. Devotees call out to the one beloved or the bridegroom. All men and women call out. There are so many of them. They call out, and so surely this proves there is love. This proves there is the beloved for all the lovers. Everyone calls out to the one. O Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, come. We are remembering you a great deal. Memorials are built to many of you. All of those are memorials of human deeds. There are many who remember deities, such as Lakshmi and Narayan, and Rama and Sita, because deities are more elevated than human beings. This is why human beings worship deities. The highest and lowest are number ones. Everyone knows that the highest on high is God. Then there are Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar. Then there are Brahma and the world mother. They are the main ones. It is in the intellects of you children that you receive the highest on high inheritance from the highest on high Baba. They don't know that Father. Only when the Father comes would he give his introduction. The Father says, I cannot meet anyone apart from you children. Excuse. Many come and say they want to meet the Mahatmaji, the great soul. That doesn't apply here. Here, there is the connection of the Father and the children. If there is a need for anyone else, that is a different matter. The Father speaks to Murli in front of the children. You explain at the exhibitions that he is the Father of everyone. Those people say he is beyond name and form. You say he has a name, a form, a place. What else does he have? And also an image. People call him. And just as souls come here, so the Supreme Soul comes. They show a bull in the Shiva temples. They call it Nandigan, and it proves that Shiva, the Supreme Soul, does come. So why do they then say he cannot come? People are just budhus. Budhus mean fools, simpletons. That they show Shiva on the forehead of a bull. The Supreme Soul also truly stays in the center of the forehead. If God has to come, he would definitely come and sit in the center of a forehead. You can now explain at the exhibitions what Nandigan is. The Father says, I only explain to the children. People say, oh God, the Father. But what is the name of the Father? No one is able to tell you that. They would instantly tell you the names of their physical fathers. Shiv Baba has been given many names. Excuse. Shiv Baba has been given many names, especially on the path of devotion. And they're such lovely names with very deep meanings. So Baba says, in fact, he should only have the one name. Only the Father enlightens you about all of these things. People have degraded intellects at this time. They don't understand Alpha. To study the Vedas and scriptures is all part of performing devotion. They believe that they will find God by performing devotion. Devotees are human beings. They definitely do find God, but no one knows when this would happen. When someone on the path of devotion has a vision, he believes he has found God and that he has attained liberation through it. Because when you find God, he gives you liberation. He is the bestower of liberation and liberation in life. He purifies the impure, and he is the remover of sorrow and the bestower of happiness. The Father is the bestower. He gives you a palace in return. He gives a palace in return for 2 grains of rice. He gives you the sovereignty of the whole world. Baba says everything is now going to be destroyed. This is why You must use everything in a worthwhile way for this task. You will receive the return of it in the future. The wealthy cannot attain anything from the Father. They cannot sacrifice themselves. Only the poor sacrifice themselves. If someone is sensible, he can serve whilst walking along the road. Whilst moving along, first of all, become someone's friend and then sit and give that person knowledge. Knowledge is very easy. Simply ask them, have you heard the name of the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul? This is something first class. Because he is called the Supreme Father, he is the Father of everyone. Just as a scorpion would only sting something soft, so you do the same business. Teach everyone Raja Yoga, and they will become prince and princesses of the golden age. There you will have beautiful children in the golden age. You will have beautiful children. So explain to them that they have to claim their inheritance from the Father. It is all a matter of the intellect. Visions are a common thing. Some have visions of one thing, and others have visions of something else. That too is to show you your aim and objective. Baba says, if you remember me and remain pure, you will attain a status like that. Aim and objective, referring to Lakshmi and Narayan. So a status like that of Lakshmi and Narayan. To live together with everyone at home and claim a status is a high destination. Break away from everyone else and connect yourself to the one. This requires effort. Sannyasis renounce everything and go away. Here, your intellects have to remember, whilst living with everyone, that what the intellect has to remember whilst living with everyone, that this old world is already destroyed. We have to return home, and we will then go to heaven and rule the kingdom. This old world is to be destroyed. Make effort whilst keeping this in your intellect. Stay doing the service of remembrance for 8 hours. Stay doing the service of remembrance for 8 hours. Some ask, how can that is possible? Some ask how that is possible. Those who are devotees of Krishna on the path of devotion also remove their intellects from everything else and simply remember Krishna alone. If someone is a devotee of Rama, he would remember Rama. Remember the kingdom of Rama. For only if you do that constantly will your final thoughts lead you to your destination. So if someone is a devotee of Rama, meaning Sita's Rama, they would remember Rama, but God Shiva has the name Rama also. So he's saying, remember the kingdom of Rama. For only if you do that constantly, will your final thoughts lead you to your destination. It takes effort to remember Rama and go to the kingdom of Rama. No one else can teach you how to make such effort. There is the verse, whatever you remember in your final moments is where you are led to. Even sannyasis and gurus have to stay in remembrance, for only then will their final thoughts lead them to their destination. First of all, ask them where they want to go. You want to return, but where to? On the path of devotion, they don't receive the strength to enable them to connect their intellects to the One. Only the One Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, is the Almighty Authority. His part is recorded. Remember the highest on high, Father, and you will go to his land. Sannyasis cannot be called deities. They come here in the Copper Age. God himself comes and says, children, remember me. I also explain the world cycle to you, through which you become. What do we become through the world cycle? Become rulers of the globe. Only the Father explains this knowledge. You can explain using the pictures. The highest on high, incorporeal God resides in the incorporeal world. That is the highest on high place. We deities also reside there. The subtle deities reside in the subtle region. There is no world cycle there. Then lower down, the maximum splendor is in the temples to Lakshmi and Narayan. There isn't as much in the temples to the World Mother and World Father. Jagadamba temple is completely ordinary. Look at the Jagadamba temple and the Lakshmi and Narayan temple, and there is the difference of day and night. People don't know that Jagadamba becomes Lakshmi. You know this. This one is also extremely ordinary. And so the temple built to him, referring to Brahma Baba, is also very ordinary. They have also created ordinary images. They show a dark image of Jagannath. You know that you're now studying Raja Yoga at the confluence age, and you then become as beautiful as Lakshmi and Narayan in the future. It is also written that establishment takes place through Brahma, but it can only take place through knowledge. There is no question of nectar from the mouth of a cow. Baba gives Krishna his inheritance at the confluence age. Because it is the confluence age, they have put Krishna's name instead of Shiva's. You now know that Jagadamba becomes Lakshmi, and after 84 births, Lakshmi becomes Jagadamba. This is the clan of Brahma, which then becomes the deity clan. Those of the deity clan take 84 births and then belong to the Shudra clan at the end. These are such good points. Someone who is unable to imbibe is called a dullhead. There are many centers where they are able to conduct classes by themselves. God the Father says, become students with sharp intellects. Serviceable children are remembered a great deal, and they also receive invitations. The Father too remembers such children. In a school, some are sharp and others are dull, but all are children. However, some have committed so much sin that they are unable to become pure and charitable souls. They repeatedly fall. There should be so much incognito happiness experienced. Only the Father is the stick for the blind. No one else can be this. Dear God, you are the stick for the blind. Here, everyone is given their individual medicine. Those who don't have an eye of knowledge are said to be blind. It means the third eye is not open. Shiv Baba comes in the night of the Iron Age. They speak of the night of Krishna, and there is also the night of Shiva. Shiva is the supreme soul God. And so, which night is his? You know that the end of the Iron Age and the beginning of the Golden Age is called the night. Having been stumbling along on the path of devotion, everyone has become distressed. They say that God is infinite, or they say that they are the supreme soul. So much is explained to you. Some have a lot of interest. Interest in doing what? In serving. Baba too has an interest. But it is not the law for Baba to go anywhere. It is said, son shows the father. There are so many children. Many more will continue to come. They will sit in queues outside. When the Pope came, so many people went there. That one is the father of all. He is the one who grants salvation to even the Pope. Only the Father gives true blessings. Those people give false blessings. BKs have to bless everyone. Because of having no understanding, they think that they are giving blessings. When they come here, it is seen whether they are worthy of claiming blessings or not. None of their intellects shows what the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul has in his intellect. The Father says, when they come here, I give them liberation and liberation in life and change them. In what way does he change them? He says, from human beings into deities. The sapling of heaven has to be planted. We can understand what type of sapling is being planted. You also have to think that when someone comes, you can grant him liberation and liberation in life. They say, I want liberation. Acha. If you remember the land of liberation, you will attain liberation. Remember the Father, and your final thoughts will lead you to your destination. Acha. To the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, Bapdada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say Namaste to the spiritual father. Essence for Dharana, points to practice for today. First point, do the service of staying in remembrance for a minimum of 8 hours. Whilst living with everyone at home, make effort to break away from everyone and connect yourself to the one. Second point, become students with sharp intellects, not dull heads. Become sticks for the blind like the Father. and show everyone the path to liberation and liberation in life. Baba's blessing for today. May you be an accurate effort maker and make the One Father your support by letting go of any shores of limited supports. Baba explains the blessing. Let go of any limited supports which you have made your support. As long as you have those supports, you cannot make the Father your constant support. It is because you don't have the Father's support that you make limited shores your support. Limited things are deceptive. And so, as you can see the fast speed of time, fly fast above those limited shores and cross them in a second. You will then be called an accurate effort maker. Baba's slogan for today: to keep a balance of karma and yoga is to be a successful karma yogi. To keep a balance of karma and yoga is to be a successful karma yogi. So Baba is teaching us so many wonderful lessons. Let's make that special effort. Om Shanti.